here with Randy Davis, and we're here to talk about the Sing Conference. Randy, why should pastors go to a conference about singing?
Keith, I think it's very important that pastors attend something like the Sing Conference for a couple of reasons. Pastors have some basic needs. They really need people praying for them and interceding for them. They really need encouragement. A pastor's in a spiritual warfare. He's got the enormous responsibility of being the under-shepherd of the church. And going to the Sing Conference will provide a great deal of encouragement. A pastor needs a third thing, and that third thing that a pastor needs is some tools, some ways to articulate what he knows is in his heart and his mind. And a conference much like the Sing Conference will help provide all three of those things.
Very first Sunday in America, the pastor got up and prayed. Chris and I talk about it often. And he prayed about the goodness of God and then said, "It is with relief that we turn our eyes to Him." And I sometimes think singing is that, because it is that time that we focus our entire being on the greatness of God. But also a conference is like that, or going to Opryland and just getting away and being with other pastors. It allows us a chance to retreat or to Sabbath, but to be refreshed and encouraged.
Yeah, absolutely. The last church I was pastor in, the first Sunday there, I was there for 10 years, but the first Sunday I was there, instead of sitting up on the platform, I sat on the front row. And it freed me up to worship, because when the pastor's on the front row, he's worried about who's there, who's not there. That light bulb that's out, he notices.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that distract him, but when he is able to pour himself into the worship, that relief word you mentioned is awesome.
One of the things we've noticed is that the churches that sing the best is nothing to do with budget. It's nothing to do with musical style. It's not even to do with theological tradition. The churches that sing the best are the churches where the pastor cares. Of course, there's more in the conference for pastors than just singing.
Right.
We got both on the seminar equipping side and the main seminars. Main conference. This year we're in the life of Christ. So there is Monday is about incarnation. Tuesday is about the death and resurrection, the Easter story. And Wednesday is about the Great Commission and the return. And part of that is to give people just the vast beauty of the gospel and eternity and help people focus on that. But part of it is also to equip so that people go out this year more excited about Christmas, more excited about Easter, more excited about Great Commission and preaching eternity.
The opportunity to bring people in the presence of the Lord through the spoken word and the word and music, and doing that together is phenomenal. And there's no time that you will have more people in the presence of the worship than at those seasons. And speaking of the preacher and the worship leader, they really need to be together, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I cannot emphasize that enough. But we see this all through church history, don't we? When the pastor and the musician are together, the explosive power of that. You think of Billy Graham and Cliff Barrows, you think of Moody and Sankey, you think of Sunday and Rodeheaver, you think of even churches today and all backgrounds where the success, where those two work together. And so it's a great chance, even especially because of the focus on Christmas and Easter and the Lord's return. I think there's so, and mission, to take Christmas and Easter and mission and say, how do we do this better? Even like 2 hours of conversation about that, in one of those lovely restaurants at the Opryland, I think that is just pure gold. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Well, this has been a privilege to be here with Randy. This is our last day in Tennessee before we go home for the summer. And we are so excited to be able to come back and share the Sing Conference with many, many of our friends from Tennessee. Every year, this state is the state that has the most people. And it's always good to be able to be there with people from our own place. We've also got some concerts at the Grand Ole Opry at the Bridge in each of the nights as well. So people can both enjoy teaching and worship, but also enjoy just nights out to celebrate God's goodness with wonderful, memorable artistry as well.
Amen. Thank you, Keith. Very
Thank you,
much.
Randy, and thank you for your continued support over the years.
Thank you, sir.
Praise the